the Yes Labyrinth. I'm Bobby McCosky. I'm your host. I teach improv here. I talk about improv concepts, but even if you're not an improviser, stick around. I like to nerd out about comedy, the world, Lion King. My daughter is obsessed with the scene where Scar murders Mufasa. She'll hold me and go, "The king is dead," and then throw me off the bed. So it's a wonderful life I'm living. But anywho, what I do here is I talk about ideas in improv, and what today I am talking about is a concept called game of the scene. It's a little bit controversial in improv. There's controversy in improv. Never. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I gotta say that before my cool intro video. Shout out Forrest Kidley! I appreciate you. So, we're talking about this concept of game of the scene. In this video, I'll do a little voiceover-y recap. Crap, it's going to be more of that, this video, than the normal me hammering it. But I just wanted to start off saying that I think game of the scene is a vital part of improv. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's not even a majority of it. But it is a part, and it's a muscle you should flex. So, let's discuss how to flex it. Let's discuss what it is. Let's dive into that so we can learn what the hell we're supposed to do.
Well, you do have on it's improv.
I know, Bobby. I'm just saying for the...
I know, but I'm just saying there's rules.
Yeah, but those rules are just there as guideposts.
I know, but also you gotta learn them.
I got ADHD, TV. Hey, I got diagnosed with ADHD since last video that happened months ago. I'm gonna be better. No, I won't. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. That's what I've learned. Shout out to your boy and your boy's me. Shout out to your boy. 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 So, game of the scene. What is it? It is a term pinned by the Upright Citizens Brigade. They're a New York-based comedy theater. Here's a picture of them, some of their founding members. A lot of them learned from Del Close, who we'll probably talk about a little bit in this episode and a lot on this channel. Game of the Scene was a big part of their curriculum and their philosophy. So what is it? Before I get into how UCB defines it, how Wikipedia defines it, how everyone will probably define it slightly different who teaches it, even if they all basically agree on stuff, I want to give you my quick version of what I say to my students. So game is a behavior or a philosophy that is subverting our expectations. Now notice I didn't say game of the scene, just game, but we'll dissect that later. Let's go on to define it. So if you don't look at UCB's manual and you just try to go online and go to Wikipedia, it'll say something like game is the first unusual thing to happen in a scene, and it will go on to define the scene. Or it's a pattern that arises from the relationship between the characters. Now to me, both of these are wrong, kind of really wrong. The first unusual thing to happen in an improv scene may not define your whole scene at all. It may just be this little one-off thing that happens. So that's kind of dumb. Pattern that arises from the relationship between characters. Well, a pattern isn't something that's subverting our expectations or bringing comedy. It could be an emotional thing. It could be lots of things. So to me, that's not game either. Let's talk about how UCB defines it. If you look at the UCB manual, you will see it described more in examples. In fact, section 2, chapter 3, what is game? Yeah, it's one of those kind of improv books. It starts with the header, an abstract explanation, but it does give us some definitions before getting onto those. So we do kind of get two definitions in the first paragraph. One I think is not as great, and the other is pretty much how I described it. So the first is the game is what is funny about your scene. Now, often it is, but to me that isn't all that game is. So I get what they were trying to do here, but I wouldn't say that's the definition of game. The other one is it's a consistent pattern of behavior that breaks from the expected patterns of our everyday lives. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said, I guess is what I'm saying. I guess I don't get into a pattern of consistent behavior, because to me, game is more about like when something hits you, it's like, oh, this is unusual. This feels like it has legs in it comedically. Like we could play this idea. This could become part of this person's character. It could become part of this scene. It could become part of the ethos of what we're building here. So to me, that is more important than it just being a pattern, I guess. One of the tricky parts about Game of the Scene, especially if you've learned UCB way, where like if you're learning a Herald at UCB, you'll do a few scenes and then you'll revisit themes and ideas in those scenes. At UCB, second beats are directly playing the exact game of our first beat and heightening it. But the tricky part, what you see the game to be might not be what I see the game to be. And a great example of that is in the examples UCB uses in their book to explain Game of the Scene. Like, I watched these Monty Python sketches, and to me, what they are calling the game is not what I would walk away saying the game of these scenes was. And that's the example they use in their book. Yeah, previous Bobby, take it away. Or later, Bobby, you're later than me. Are you? Did I do this before? We'll see. Yeah, so they use two Monty Python sketches to do this. The first one is the cheese shop, and the second one is the parrot sketch. Now, the cheese shop is about a befuddled patron who attempts to buy cheese at a store. The proprietor at the store, while claiming to have cheese, has none. And they say the game of the scene can be described as a specialty shop that doesn't sell what it claims.
Any Norwegian Jarlsberger?
No.
Liptar?
No.
Lancashire?
No.
White Stilton?
No.
Danish Blue?
No.
Double Gloucester?
No.
Now, if you watch the sketch, I would argue there are multiple games being played here. John Cleese's character has this game describing everything in an overly poetic language.
I thought to myself, a little fermented curd would do the trick. So I curtailed my wall-pulling activities, sallied forth and infiltrated your place of purveyance to negotiate the vending of some cheesy comestibles.
And Grab Chapman has, yes, this game of not having the cheeses, but the excuses are like so specific.
The cat's eating it. Never at the end of the week, sir. Always get it fresh first thing on Monday. And normally, sir, yes. But today the van broke down.
All right, so we're going to do what UCB does with this sketch. Imagine like it's an improv scene that you're watching. You could take any of these things to be what you see the game to be. What is important is not that one person has the right answer of what game is. What is important is that whatever your idea is, you initiate it clearly so that everyone knows what we're playing. People get stuck up on what is game? How do you define game? Define it loosely however you want, but the other tools that UCB give you are what make it great. So you could watch this and see specialty shop that doesn't have what it says, like UCB see it. And so you go like, wait, so you're saying this dispensary, they don't sell weed? Boom, we know what premise you're playing. We know what idea you're playing and what you saw to be the game or what you saw to be the comedic idea you want to play. A super verbose person could be like, I could bestow a myriad of resplendent syllables on the urgency of the matter, but nay, I mustn't. And I must know, where is thine toiletry in this Taco Bell? I must know. Or if you're doing like the specific excuses, you can be like, yeah, sorry, your heart was supposed to be here. There was an incident involving a Mack truck and another Mack truck. Again, how you define game is not the most important thing. It's like using these other tools about like, okay, now how do we justify stuff? How do we heighten this? How do we, if this is true, what else is true? How do we not get into crazy town where everything's unusual and therefore nothing's unusual? As I'm recording this right now, I can tell that my alarm to check on my cinnamon rolls is about to go off. Hold on, let me get that real quick. So game of the scene to me is you're doing an improv scene, you figure out, oh, I hit the mic. You figure out who you are, where you are, what's going on. Eventually, how in the last video I talked about all comedy is a setup and a punchline. Setup in this one is our base reality, who, what, where, and then game of the scene is that punchline. It's what subverts our expectations. But if you were to do an improv scene where you're just going for joke, 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 hit that game, hit that this, it will become very formulaic, it will become very predictable, even though you can try to subvert the expectations in different ways. I'm gonna keep hitting this mic. But okay, so game of the scene, got ADHD, focus Bobby, ADHD, focus Bobby. I'm kind of a hippie when it comes to improv lately in my older years. And I'm very much a believer in like group mind, connecting with each other, having faith in what will happen, instead of being like, we have to do this, we have to hit this, we have to play this game exactly. If you're doing tag outs and tag runs, yeah, you should try to play the game, but sometimes it veers in different directions. So some people like me, when I first got UCB, I craved structure, I craved rigidity and clear boundaries of what is what. And the UCB manual is great for teaching game of the scene and showing you all that, but it also, I think, can come across sometimes as like, this is how it must be done. And if anyone who's done improv for a while realizes the best improv you ever do is when you're not thinking at all. And game can get you in your head. Eventually game will be a muscle like everything else that is stretched and is warm, and you don't even think about it. It's subconscious as you watch scenes. Oh, that's funny, I could do this. Oh, that's a cool idea, I could do this. Oh, da-da-da. Same with relationship. I'm dialed into this person. I'm listening to them. I see what's going on. I'm emotionally connected. And I think part of my problem when I even discuss game of the scene is people treat the discussion so differently. Like you can have the decision to be like, improv is all about relationship and what's going on between these two people. And I would probably err more on that side in that debate. But that is not everything. If you only talk about your relationship and there is nothing subverting our expectations, we are not going to do a comedic improv scene. We might get a laugh here or there, but we're doing more dramatic improv, and that's great if you want to do dramatic improv. Heads up, if you do dramatic improv, tell the audience. So thank you so much for watching Yes Labyrinth. I have some ideas of some other topics I might want to discuss. I'm going to put them up here. If you want to comment with things that you are interested in or other ideas you might be interested in, if you have any of those, feel free to shout them out in the comments or say which ones you like. I just want to explore topics that you feel like there's not enough resources on or commentary on online in the improv sphere. But if you're not an improviser, let me say this to you. I understand how improv can be cringe on the outside. It's the reason I love improv. I think being vulnerable and allowing ourselves to fail in front of people is so hard these days. People only post their best TikToks. They only post the ones they know are going to do well or they think are going to do well. And again, this was my problem making this video. I was striving for perfection when I realized I just need to make something and make it how I feel about the topic and who I am. So improv is that. Improv is people expressing and figuring this out in front of people. So give them grace, and I'll try to give you some grace. Thank you for watching Yes Labyrinth. I'm Bobby McCosky. Make good choices. Bye-bye. I probably don't have to do the wee when I'm spinning.